Workplace accidents refer to unforeseen incidents that occur in the work environment or the workplace and result in injuries, illnesses, or fatalities. These accidents can have various causes, including human error, unsafe work practices, equipment failure, environmental hazard, or a combination of factors.
These are the types of accidents in the workplace: chemical spills and exposure. Workers handling hazardous chemicals can experience accidents involving spills, leaks, or exposure to toxic substances. Burns and fires. Employees working with a flammable material or an environment with fire hazard can be at risk of burns and fire related accidents. Slips, trips, and falls. These accidents occur when an employee slips on a wet surface, trips over objects, or falls from an elevated position such as ladder or platform. Electrical accidents. These accidents occur when an employee comes into contact with live wires, faulty electrical equipment, or suffer from electric shocks. Strains and sprains. Lifting heavy objects over exertion or repetitive motions can lead to strains and sprain. Improper lifting techniques and lack of ergonomic consideration contribute to these accidents. Falling objects. Objects falling from the shelf, storage areas, or overhead can cause injuries. Inadequate storage practices and failure to secure objects properly are common causes.
Understanding workplace accidents is crucial for promoting safety and preventing incidents and ensuring the well being of employees.
Preventing workplace injury is a crucial for maintaining a safe and productive work environment. Here are 5 strategies to help prevent injuries in a workplace. First, we have risk assessment and hazard identification. Conduct a regular assessment to identify potential hazards and risks in the workplace. These includes evaluating physical environment, equipment, processes, and tasks performed. Address identify hazard promptly to minimize likelihood of accident and injuries. Employee training and education. Provide a comprehensive training and education to employees on safety protocols, procedures, and best practices. Ensure that employees are aware of potential hazards, known how to use equipment correctly, and understand the importance of following safety guidelines. Safety policy and procedures. Establish clear safety policies and procedures that address potential risk and outline guidelines for safety work practices. Communicate these policies effectively to all employees and ensure them consistently. Personal protective equipment or PPE. Identify the appropriate personal protective equipment needed for specific job rules and tasks. Provide employees with necessary PPE such as safety glasses, gloves, helmet, or air protection and ensure proper usage and maintenance. Regularly assess an effective PPE and replace worn or damaged equipment. Remember, workplace safety is an ongoing effort that requires commitment from all levels of organization. By prioritizing risk assessment, employee training, employment safety policies, providing appropriate protection equipment, and fostering a safety conscious culture, you can significantly reduce the risk of workplace injuries.
So, hello guys, I am Agnes and I am from Group 1 and I am from BSHM 11E. So, my assigned topic is about classification of fire. So, fire prevention is the best way to make sure that fire doesn't impact you or your business. But as well as preventing fires from starting in the first place, you should have a plan in place for dealing with fires if they do happen. So, because if a fire does start, it can spread quickly. Knowing how to attack a fire before it grows isn't always straightforward. Not every fire is the same. Different fires can have different hazards and risks. Using the wrong type of fire extinguisher could do more harm than good. So there are six primary fire classes classified according to the igniting agent. First one, Class A, is solids. The, the second one is Class B, liquids. Class C, gases. Class D, metals, electrical fires. And the last is Class F, cooking fats and oils. So, first is the Class A. Class A fires and fires involving solids. This type of fuel could be paper and cardboard, common in offices and manufacturing. It could be furniture or fixtures and fittings. It could even be the structure of the building. So, Class A, if any type of solid material is burning, like you would expect in a normal fire, then it's a Class A fire. This is one of the most common types of fire because solids are the most common type of fuel and one that is hard to eliminate. Good housekeeping should help to keep materials like packaging and waste reduced, minimizing risk. So, how to put out a Class A fire? You could use a water and foam extinguisher. So, the best types of fire extinguishers for Class A is fire and or water and foam extinguishers. Water is the most popular type of extinguisher because it can handle most fires involving solids. But as a conductor, it should never be used near electrical equipment. Power and wet chemical fire extinguishers also have limited suitability for Class A fires. Next one is the Class B fire. So Class B fires are fires involving liquids. Many of the fluids, liquids, and chemicals used in workplaces can be flammable or explosive, like cleaning fluids, solvents, fuels, inks, adhesives, and paints. So this type of fire is more common in industrial, where large quantities of flammable liquids are present. Class B fires are rare but more deadly than other types of fire. So how to put out a Class B fire? There are two types of fire extinguishers that can help put out a Class B fire, either a powder or foam extinguisher. It is necessary to tackle a fire caused by hazardous substances. Never use a water extinguisher in a Type B fire, since this could spread the flames and make the fire more dangerous. Next is the Class C fire. So Class C fire involves flammable gases such as propane or butane. These fires are some of the most hazardous because of their potential for explosion. Many gases tend to be stored in pressurized containers, and most fire extinguishers are not only ineffective at fighting these fires, but can make the fire worse. So in Class C, working with gas is dangerous and increases fire risk. So keep stored gases in sealed containers in a safe storage area and ensure that gas work is carried out by competent persons. So while extinguishers can be used on Class C gas fires, uh, the only safe method to put out this type of fire is to shut off the gas is to cut off is a dry The only safe method to put out this type of fire is to shut off the gas supply. The best type of extinguisher to put out the fire once the supply of a gas is cut off is a dry powder extinguisher. Next is the Class D. So in a Class D, metals are not often thought of as a combustible materials, but some types of metal can be like sodium. Metals are also good conductors, helping a fire spread. All metals will soften and melt at high temperatures, which can cause building collapse when metal joists and columns are present in a fire as structural elements. So in Class D, specific metals can conduct heat quickly, like sodium, titanium, and potassium, spreading fires and igniting other combustible materials. These metals are commonly used in industrial or laboratory settings. Many standard water-based and wet fire extinguishers are ineffective in putting out Class D fires, and using them could be dangerous. So, how to put out a Class D fire? So, there are dry powder extinguishers developed to tackle metal fires. The powder inside the extinguisher may vary depending on the type of metal risk it is designed for. Small metal fires can sometimes be smothered with dry earth or sand. So next one is the electrical fires. So electricity presents additional challenges when dealing with a fire, especially if water or other conductive materials are nearby. Heaters, appliances, and other electronic devices can cause this type of fire. For example, broken wiring or overloaded circuits can create heat and sparks that leads to flames. So on electrical fires, you shouldn't use water to attack on electrical fire. You can use other types of fire extinguisher. And how to put out an electrical fire? You can use a CO2 extinguisher. So the best fire extinguisher to use on electrical fires is the carbon dioxide or CO2 extinguisher. Some dry powder extinguishers are suitable for low voltage situations. And always turn off the power supply if you can. The next one is the class F, or cooking fats and oils. So deep fat frying and spillages of flammable oils near heat sources in kitchens can result in a class F fire. This type of fire is most common in commercial kitchens with deep fat fryers but can also happen in homes. So in never leave food or frying equipment unattended during use. These fires are hard to extinguish due to the heat from the oil, and using the wrong type of extinguisher can spread the burning oils and fats and spread the fire. So how to put out a class F fire. The only type of fire extinguisher approved for use on cooking oils and fats is the wet chemical extinguisher. This particular type of extinguisher releases a foam that can effectively stop grease fires from spreading. You'll recognize this fire extinguisher by its yellow band. So in the next slide, as you can see, is there are different types of fire extinguishers. The first one is the dry powder. The second one is the fire hose reel. The third is the foam spray, and the fourth is the water, and the fifth is the CO2. So in dry powder, you can only use dry powder extinguisher in Class A, Class B, Class C, and in electrical equipment. In fire hose reel, you can use Class A, and you're not allowed to use this fire extinguisher in live electrical equipment rather, flammable liquids, and flammable, and you're not allowed to use this fire hose reel and flammable metal fires. The third one is the foam spray. You're allowed to use this in Class A, in Class B, and you're not allowed to use this in live electrical equipment and flammable metal fires. In foam spray, in water, you are allowed to use this in Class A, and you're not allowed to use this fire extinguisher in live electrical equipment, flammable liquids, and flammable metal fires. The last one type of fire extinguisher is the CO2 fire extinguisher, and you can use this type of fire extinguisher in Class B and in live electrical equipment, but you're not allowed to use this in wood, paper, and you're not allowed to use this in wood, paper, and textiles. And you're also allowed, your do not hold when operating. And that's it, guys. And that's the types or the classifications of fires. And thank you guys for listening and watching my presentation.
Let's discuss about fire prevention. We are all aware that in the Philippines, March is known as Fire Prevention Month because so many fires occur during this month. The Philippines has a large number of fire incidents worldwide. Here are the few tips from emergency for fire situation that we are all aware of. We must always remember the word EDIF or exit drills in the home. We should prepare a fire exit plan in our home. If you hear a fire alarm, immediately leave the building for your safety. As a family, you should come together and create a home escape plan so that everyone knows where to go in case of emergencies. Additionally, remember to close your stove after using it or if you are cooking. If you don't know how to fix wiring, you need to hire an electrician to fix your wirings. Avoid overcharging the socket to avoid hitting the switch.
which could result in a fire. And what you should do if a fire breaks out in your home or anywhere else you are, you should crawl under the smoke as the heat and smoke rise until you can escape to have a safe place. Additionally, use the stop, drop, and roll technique if whatever you are wearing is on fire, so that your clothes can catch up the fire.
In this video, you'll learn the first aid techniques for treating a minor burn. A burn is considered minor if it is smaller than half the size of the victim's hand. If possible, remove whatever caused the burn from the area. Immediately run cool but not cold water over the burn until the pain subsides. Remove clothing around the burn unless they're stuck to the skin. If you're unsure how serious the burn may be, contact a doctor or emergency services for medical advice. Or if not possible, make a bandage under sterile compresses. Monitor the burn to see if it becomes red, hot, or painful. If so, consult a physician. Never burst a blister. Once a blister breaks, it becomes an open door for microbes that may cause infection.
Minor wound.
In this video, you'll learn how to treat a minor wound.
One, stop the bleeding. 2. Elevate your wound above your heart to stop the bleeding. 3. Clean the wound with clean water. 4. Seal the wound. Change the bandage regularly to prevent infection. If your cut is deep and hasn't been vaccinated against tetanus, in the last 5 years, it's advisable to get a tetanus shot. Consult a healthcare professional to determine if one is necessary.
Okay, good afternoon. I mean, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, my topic for today is all about burns and scald accidents caused by electricity. So, okay, what is burn or scalds? Burns are damage to the tissue of your body caused by heat, too much sun, chemicals, or electricity. Scalds are caused by hot water or steam. Ang examples of burns kay na cause sa chemicals kay like for example na kay about kanang mga impure gani nga bariatric acids, kanang mga chemicals nga isog gani nga kung ipadatoy nimo siya sa imuhang panit kay masunog ay di siya masunog like mapaso na mapaso. Then ang kanang scalds are kanang so gisulti din ni it's caused by hot water or steam kanang malapwa ka kanang init kag tubig or kanang nagluto ka tapos malutuluan na ginana niya ang outcome ana kay muburot na siya. Muburot. Kuan same sa anang mantika nga kanang inig ana sa imong panit gani kay kuan muburot din na tubig like na tubig nga mo mamuo sa sod. Burns and scalds can range from being a minor injury to a life-threatening emergency. It depends how deep and how large they are. So naamo gyud uban nga burns and scalds nga madala ra nato remedy sa home, nasa uban nga matambalan ra nato sila o for example Colgate, tambalan og Colgate or any kind of cream. Pero naman sa uban nga burns or scalds nga kanang needed na jud siya og help from doctors, dapat natamo anto sa hospitals. Pero sa atong discussion karon is nag-focus ta sa caused by electricity. So, ari ta sa electrical burn. So, an electrical current will produce an array of injuries if the current passes through the body. So, kung kanang So an electrical current will produce an array of injuries if the current passes through the body. Most of the damage is beneath the skin surface and therefore the actual injury can easily be underestimated. So kanang kuan kanang ganing kung example no magka-injury mo tapos inyuharang ganing baliwalaon na ganin ninyo like kung unsay makita ninyo mura na pero wala ninyo gi-check di wala mo go further examination to na. Then the pathway of the current can be somewhat unpredictable, but in general current passes from point of entry through the body to the grounded site or the site of a lower resistance to flow compared with air, which is poor conductor. It is also extremely high voltage sources usually exit in a multiple areas in explosive fashion. Okay, the following are the examples of burns and scalds accident caused by electricity or in general pwede siya sa kitchen or pwede siya sa gawas or anywhere nga pwede kang makurintihan or mapaso like as you can see in the picture example na siya sa burns na cause nga naka nang naka sa kitchen like sa stove mapasok ka wa ka bantay dai nga kuan kanang ang stove kay on napag nasad kay kano kung di ka makabantay kung ang stove kay on sige padayon mo na siya burns caused by electrical stove, pressure cooker, oven, blender, microwave, and scalds that is caused by steamer. So mo na inyong buhaton if ever maka-encounter mo og burns kanang namo sa kitchen or anywhere nga mahitabo anywhere nga pwedeng mahitabo nga mapasok ka or malapwa. Running the burn under the cold water, clean the burn, bandage, and antibiotic creams. Inyo na siyang butangan. But if ang board or ang scalds nga nakuha nimo gani is needed na siya og medical attention, dapat na jud mo ato sa hospital. Dili lang kay remedy lang kay himuha diha sa balay kay wa ka kabalo nga nanay kay nang butang di or nanay bacteria nga nasagol sa imuhang burns. So that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something from my small talk discussion. Thank you.